Dear students, today we are discussing about different types of companies. We were discussing about different forms of business organization. And here today we are going to discuss types of companies. In the last video we discussed about how to form a company or company form of business organization. Today we are going to discuss which are the different types of companies. What are the different types of companies? There are various types of companies. We can say public limited company, private limited company, government company, then one person company. Okay, public company, then private company, then government company, and one person company. These are the four different types of companies. Okay, public company, private company, government company, and one person company. See, in this video today we will be discussing about public company and private company, government company and one person company. These two will be discussed in another video. Okay. See, one person company is a new form of company organization, company form of business organization, which can be established as per the provisions of the Indian Companies Amendment Act 2013. Indian Companies Amendment Act 2013. So this is a new form of company business. So today these two things, that means government company and one person company, will be discussed in another video. Today we will be discussing about a private company and a public company and what are the relation between private company and public company. Okay. Say private company. What is a private company? Private company is a company which is not a public company. Then what is the specialities of a private company? There is no separate definition given in the act for a private company. But here for private company it has certain characteristics that makes the company separate from public company. So if somebody asks what is a private company, we can say like this: a private company is a company. A private company is a company. A private company is a company which restricts the right of members to transfer the shares. Which restricts the members to transfer shares. What it means? That means the members or the owners of a private company cannot transfer the shares held by them. What do you mean by shares? While discussing about company, we have told that capital of the company will be a lump sum amount will be there, say 1 lakh or 10 lakh or 50 lakh, like that. So 50 lakh, suppose 50 lakh capital is there. That will be subdivided into small units and each such unit is called a share. We have told in the last video. So that small portion, that means a share, who is holding such a share or who has purchased that portion of capital can be called as the shareholder. So here the owner of a private company, that means the shareholder of a public private company, shareholder is the owner of the company, one of the owner. If you purchase even one share also, you will be considered as the owner. If you purchase one equity share, you will be considered as the owner of the company. So even if you purchase the share of a private company, you cannot transfer that share to anybody. That means you cannot transfer your share, you cannot sell your share to the public. Okay, that is the most important feature of a private company. Okay, that means the private company restricts the right of the members to transfer the shares. Private company restricts the right of members to transfer the shares. That means the owner of a private company cannot transfer their capital to the public. So he can transfer or he can donate his share to his relative or can sell to his relative privately, but cannot transfer. He cannot invite the public to purchase his share. He cannot offer to the public. That is main. And another one, a company which has a minimum of two and maximum of 200 members. Okay, minimum of 2 members and maximum 200 members. This provision is given according to Indian Companies Amendment Act 2013. Okay, as per that act, this point says. That means this is also there in the act, but this point was there in the previous act also. Here it says that has a minimum of 2 members and a maximum of 200. In the earlier act it was 50. Okay, so now as per the present act, 2013 act, in order to form a private company, minimum 2 members should be there. Minimum can be 2 members, but the maximum can be up to 200. Owners can be up to 200, should not be beyond that. This maximum number should be excluding the present employees or past employees. Employees cannot be included while calculating the number of members. That means the owners does not include, or owners do not include the employees. Okay, that is the thing. So a minimum of 2 members, that means in order to form a company, private company, it can be of 2 members and maximum can be of 200 members excluding the employees. Then the third point says that, what is the third point says? Private company doesn't invite the public to subscribe its share capital. Doesn't invite the public to subscribe its share capital. What do you mean by that? Private company cannot invite the public to purchase the shares or subscribe the shares. Okay, that's what it can be. It cannot be issued to the public. Shares cannot be issued to the public. This company cannot give an advertisement in the newspaper regarding issue of shares. Cannot invite the public to subscribe the shares. Then how the shares can be issued? Shares can be issued privately to the relatives or friends or somebody like that. Okay, so owners cannot be, or people cannot be admitted, the public cannot be invited to subscribe the shares. Okay. Then the fourth one says that it must have a minimum paid up capital of 1 lakh. It must have a minimum paid up capital of it should have a minimum paid up capital of 1 lakh or any such higher amount which may be prescribed by the government, central government. Minimum it can be of 1 lakh or any other higher amount which may be fixed by the central government from time to time. That means central government can increase the minimum limit. Now it is at present it is 1 lakh. Minimum capital should be 1 lakh. So these are the characteristics of a private company. We can say that once again, it restricts the transfer of shares. Meaning private company restricts the transfer of its shares. And in order to start a private company, there should be minimum 2 members and the maximum owners of a private company can be 200. But that excludes present employees and past employees. That means employees should not be included. And the third point says that it doesn't invite the public. Private company cannot invite the public to subscribe the shares. And the last point says that it should have a minimum of 1 lakh rupees as the paid up capital or such an amount or such a higher amount which may be prescribed by the government from time to time. Okay. So these are all about private company. Okay. See, what are the privileges of a private company? What special privileges are there for a private company? See, if we compare a private company with a public company, it has certain privileges. That's what we are going to discuss now. Okay. The first one, we can say that a private company can be formed by only 2 persons or only 2 members. But for a public company, it must have minimum 7 members to start the business. Okay. Minimum members to start the business is 2, whereas 7 in the case of a public company. What do you understood from that? If you start a private company, or we can say that in order to start a private company, only 2 members are enough. Even any 2 members can start a private company. But it should be minimum 7 persons for starting a public company. If you want to start a public company, minimum 7 people should be there. But if you want to start a private company, even with the 2 persons, you can start a private company. So that is the privilege for a private company. The next one, second point says that there is no need to issue prospectus as the public is not invited to subscribe. That means no need to issue prospectus as the public cannot be invited to subscribe shares. Say, what is prospectus? company or private company need not issue any prospectus. What is prospectus? Prospectus is an invitation to the public to purchase or subscribe the shares or debentures of a body corporate. Means company. That means it's an invitation issued to the public. Invitation means it will not be given by hand. That means this is an advertisement given in the newspaper or media to invite the public for purchasing the shares. Okay, this is an advertisement given in the newspaper or media for inviting the public to purchase the shares. Private company need not issue prospectus. Why? Because it cannot invite the public to purchase the share. We have told that private company cannot issue shares to the public, so no need to issue prospectus. But for a public company, it is a must. In order to issue shares, they have to issue prospectus. That is a must for public company, but it is not at all needed for a private company. Then let us see what is the third point. Here it says that allotment of shares. At the time of allotment of shares, there is no need of receiving minimum subscription. No need of minimum subscription for allotment of shares. For allotment of shares, there is no need of minimum subscription. What is that? What is minimum subscription? Minimum subscription. Next year also we will study. Next year also we will study what is minimum subscription. But you have to understand what it is now. Minimum subscription means, suppose you are issuing shares. You are issuing shares. There is a condition that at least 90% of the issued shares must be purchased by the public. Then only you can proceed with the allotment. That is there for a public company. Okay. Suppose you are announcing or you are giving in the advertisement or prospectus you are giving to through the media. That means you are advertising in the media for issue of shares. Suppose you are issuing 1 lakh shares. 1 lakh shares. This advertisement you have given. You have received the application also. You have received the application money, everything you received. But after receiving the application, in order to allot the share, means in order to give them share certificate, at least 90% of these shares must be subscribed by the public. At least 90% means at least 90,000. Here 1 lakh, it's 90%. 90% is 90,000. At least 90,000 must be subscribed or purchased by the public. That means application money should get at least for 90,000. Then only you can issue shares to them. Suppose the company has got only 89,999. One share is less. That may not be there, but you can say that if it is less than 90,000, what the company has to do? Company has to return the application money received from the public. Company has to give it back. Why? Minimum subscription has not obtained. So company has to return the application money, and again afterwards company can issue the shares afterwards. Now the shares cannot be issued. Okay? Understood? So minimum subscription is a must for which company? Public company, but that is not needed for a private company. Private company need not obtain any minimum subscription for allotment of shares. Allotment of shares means issue of share certificates. Okay. Then the fourth point. What is the fourth thing? A private company can start A private company can start as soon as getting certificate of incorporation. A private company can start business as soon as getting certificate of incorporation. Certificate of incorporation. What is certificate of incorporation? Certificate of incorporation. Certificate of incorporation means certificate of registration or registration certificate. So we know that in order to form a company, we have to apply to the registrar of companies and should get the certificate of registration or certificate of incorporation from the registrar. So certificate of incorporation says that your company is registered in the books of register of or in the register of companies. Your company name is registered. So for a private company, as soon as the name is registered in the register with the registrar, the owners can start the company. The company can start the function. Then what about a public company? That company has to wait for getting one more certificate. That is called certificate of commencement of business. Certificate of commencement of business. A public company can start the business only after getting certificate of commencement of business. That means after getting certificate of incorporation, the public company has to issue shares, and after issuing the shares, the company has to apply again for getting the certificate of commencement of business. After obtaining that certificate only, public company can start the business. But a private company can start business as soon as getting certificate of incorporation, and this certificate is not needed for a public company to start the business. Okay. Then next privilege we can say that means the fifth point we can say that a private company needs only two directors. Needs minimum two directors. But what about a public company? But for a public company, it is 7. For a public company, it is 7. 7 directors must be there. Minimum 7 directors must be there for a public company. But for a private company, it can have only minimum 2. It can be beyond that also, but minimum number is 2. But for a public company, minimum is 7. So that is another privilege. Then let us see the next privilege, sixth point we can say. A private company is not required to keep index of members. A private company not required to keep index of members. What is index of members? The names and addresses of all the owners of the company or all the shareholders. The names and address of all the shareholders. That is compulsory. That index of members is compulsory for a public company, but that is not at all compulsory for a private company. Okay, that means this any legal notice or any legal responsible person will come and ask that whether this list is maintained by a private company or not. That is not at all compulsory for them, but it is compulsory for a public company. Okay, then the last point, you can say that the last privilege, we can say that no restriction in the amount of loan that can be taken by a director. No restriction on the amount of loan that can be taken by the directors. So, for a public company, minimum amount is fixed by the government from time to time. For what? For the amount of loan that directors can be taken from the company. Okay, so there is restriction, but in the case of private company, there is no restriction on the amount of loan that directors can be taken from the company. But it is fixed. There is restriction in the case of a public company. Okay, and if they want to take more amount or amount beyond that, they have to get the permission from the central government. So these are all the privileges enjoyed by a private company when we compare this company with a public company. Okay, then we will be discussing about public company. Yes, public company. What is a public company? Public company is a company which is not a private company. Okay, so what are the specialities of a public company? Public company is a company which the first point, which has a minimum capital of 5 lakh or such a higher amount prescribed by the government from time to time. Has a minimum paid up capital of rupees 5 lakh. What is paid up capital? Means the capital paid to the public or paid by the public to the company. That means that much capital is collected from the public. So it should be minimum 5 lakh or such a higher amount which is prescribed by the government from time to time. Now it is 5 lakh. In future, government can fix a higher amount. At that time, the minimum capital should be that much. Okay, now it is 5 lakh as per the Indian Companies Amendment Act 2013. Okay, then what is the next one? Second point says that it has a minimum of 7 members and there is no limit in the maximum numbers. Has a minimum of 7 members and has no limit in maximum members. Members means the owners. So in order to start a public company, it must have 7 members. 7 owners should be there. 7 shareholders should be there minimum. There is no maximum members. Even thousands or lakhs of members also can be. There is no restrictions. Okay. Then another speciality, the third one we can say that has no restriction in transfer of shares. Has no restriction in transfer of shares. That means the shares are issued to the public and the public who purchase the shares can sell it at any time to anybody. At any time it can be sold to anyone. So there is no restriction on transfer of shares. And the last point, fourth point, we can say that it is not prohibited. It is not prohibited from inviting the public to subscribe its capital, which has not prohibited from inviting public to subscribe its shares. Okay, there is nobody can prohibit. There is no prohibition in inviting the public to purchase the shares or subscribe to the shares. That means the shares can be issued to public. In private company cannot issue. Private company cannot issue shares to the public. It can be issued to the private people only, or the friends or relatives only. But for a public company, it can be issued to the public, and it can issue prospectus also. There is no restriction or there is no prohibition. Okay, so these are all the features of a public company. So if somebody asks that what is a public company, you can say all these things. Public company is a company which has a minimum capital of 5 lakh or such a higher amount which is prescribed by the central government from time to time. And it has a minimum of 7 members and there is no limit in the maximum members. Then and it has no restriction in the transfer of shares and is not prohibited from inviting public for subscribing the shares. Okay, for subscribing the shares or share capital. So these are all the features of a public company, or these are all the specialities of a public company. Now you have heard about these many different forms of business organization. We have discussed many or different forms of business organization, starting from sole proprietorship business, then joint Hindu family business, partnership, then cooperative society we have studied, isn't it? Then we have studied about private company, then now public company. Okay, now choice is yours to form a type of business organization. So we can see what are the choice of form of business organization. What are the things you will you have to point out, or what are the things to which you have to concentrate for starting a business. That means choice of a form of business organization. In order to choose a particular form of business organization, what are the points should be bear in mind? What are the points in which you have to concentrate for starting a business organization? Various points are there. We can say first one, cost and ease in formation. Cost and ease in formation. What it is? Cost of formation of the business and easiness in formation. That means the formation or the type of business which has less cost to start can be started, or which form is easy to start, or which form of business is easy to start. You can think about starting such a type of business organization. That means we will think about that only. So the cost should be minimum and it should be easy to start. Then another point is there. You will be bothered about liability. Isn't it? Liability means the obligation to pay money. We have told that two types of liability, limited liability and unlimited liability. We will be interested to have limited liability only. So if you are interested to bear only limited liability, it is better to start a company form of business organization or a cooperative society. These two type of business only has limited liability. Otherwise, you have to, or in other forms of business organization, you have to face unlimited liability. So that is also another consideration. Then the third point we can say continuity. Continuity. We have studied that in the case of sole proprietorship business or partnership business, there is no continuity. When any one of the owner at least if die or incapable to do the business will be closed or will cease to exist. So if you are bothered about continuity of the business, you may not start a sole proprietorship business or a partnership business. Okay. Then next point we can say that managerial ability. If you are enough able to manage the business by yourself, which form of business you will choose, you can even start a sole proprietorship business because you are enough competent to manage the business. If you are not that much confident to manage the entire activities of a business, you may go for a partnership business or cooperative society or even the company. Okay, so managerial ability is the most important thing. Or in another way, you are thinking that I have to start a business which should have sophisticated and efficient management. Group of efficient managers are needed. Like that, if you think, then you will go for company form of business organization because company form of business organization will have more capital. So with that capital and resource, they can accommodate employees having. That means you will be able to pay high salary for the employees, those who are highly skilled. Okay, in that way, your efficiency in the management can be increased. That also is there. Okay, so if you are enough able to manage your business, you may think about sole proprietorship business only. On the other hand, if you are thinking about employing managers, well qualified employees and well qualified managers, for that resources are needed. So in that way, you may think about starting company form of business organization also. Okay, then next point we can say, fifth point, capital considerations. Capital considerations. Suppose you have thought about a particular business. You have an idea for starting a particular business. But that business involves huge amount of capital. Much amount of capital is needed. So can you start that business as a sole proprietorship business? No, because you may have a limited amount of capital. So if your business needs more amount of capital, you are concerned about investing more amount of capital, you may go for company form of business organization or even at least to start a partnership business. Otherwise, if the business needs only limited capital, you may start even a sole proprietorship business. Then let us see next botheration or the next point we can say degree of control. Degree of control. What do you mean by degree of control? Control over the management. Control over the management of the business. If you want to enjoy full control over the management of business, you will not accommodate anybody else as the owners. Isn't it? You need full control over the business. If you can compromise over the control of the business or the control can be diluted, in that case you may start a partnership business or a company form of business organization. So control consideration is another important thing. And the last point we can say that nature of the business. Nature of the business. What about nature of the business? If you are going to, or if you have an idea of starting the business, and that idea, that particular type of business is a big business organization, or such a nature which involves huge amount of capital and large, it can be established as a large business only. In that case, you may go for organizing or establishing a business in the form of partnership or company. If the nature of business is small, or it can be started just like a small business, then you must think about starting the business as a sole proprietorship business or sole trading concern. So these are all the choice to form a particular type of business organization. Is it clear? So today we have studied about the two different types of companies, that is public company and a private company, and what are the privileges of the private company we studied. Then we have studied as the last one, choice of form of business organization. What are the choice to select a particular business organization? Is it clear to everyone? Okay. Thank you very much.